Establishing and retaining a highly skilled team of maintenance professionals is essential for manufacturers to meet asset performance objectives and budgetary goals. But much of today's workforce is retiring, creating a challenging skills gap that the next generation isn't filling completely. So, why is this happening and what can be done about it? Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm Gary Cohen with CFE Media and Technology. Joining me today is Chris Bakos, Director of Recruiting and Technical Training at Advanced Technology Services. ATS is a leading services provider in technology-driven industrial maintenance and MRO asset management. So, Chris, thanks for being with us, first off.
Yeah, thanks, Gary, for having me on today. I appreciate it.
So let's talk a little bit about manufacturing's changing workforce and how leaders can combat this. We'll start at the start. What are some of the workforce changes that are affecting manufacturing success right now?
Yeah, Gary, I think really the biggest thing right now is impacting manufacturing. It's related around turnover. And what we've seen over the last, 14 months is that there's been a shift with people open to, looking for other job opportunities. So I'm sure a lot of people have seen this in the news where we're talking about the Great Resignation. It's really impacting not only manufacturing, but other, areas, whether it's retail or the service industry as well. Just alone in January, there was 11.3 million job openings, and there's roughly 6 million people that are looking for work. So there's a 5 million, person gap in between, how many people can work versus how many job openings out there. So certainly manufacturing in general, there's quite a few openings as well in manufacturing, and that churn of the workforce is creating a lot of burdensome on, the factories, whether they're not able to staff. We've already had a skilled labor shortage in terms of people having the technical abilities to do a lot of the jobs. And that's just making the problems even worse. It's compounding things. Wages are going up as well. So that's causing a lot of undue pressure, on the manufacturing plants as well. So
one of the things you mentioned there, I think fewer people are going into manufacturing these days as a career, which is helping to create this skills gap. How is that affecting the industry?
Well, it's compounding the issues that, from the resignations that are going on out there as well. So, everybody's essentially fighting for the same talent. So that's obviously driving up wages. The other thing is that, there's not been a lot of focus on getting people interested in going into the manufacturing or skilled trades. And that's one of the things that, as ATS is doing, they're focused in on trying to go out to high schools and colleges, and whether it's people that, have been in the workforce already, we have a really robust technical training development program that we have in place to get somebody that's coming in from the ground floor and getting them to, a mid-skilled level maintenance technician. So, if you're in the manufacturing space, you should probably look at trying to develop programs like that to help with those shortages that are out there today.
And I think that's, what ATS is doing, I think is really key. So that's the big question. What are the ways that manufacturing leaders now can kind of help reverse this trend and stop some of this attrition that's happening?
Yeah, I think, there's probably several different ways that, you could look at this. Certainly you have the attraction standpoint where you're talking earlier about, there's just not enough talent out there that's interested in manufacturing. Certainly you have to address that issue, which we briefly touched on. But the other thing is too, you have your current workforce that, they've already been there for a while, they're trained, they understand your culture. And I think really you need to make sure that you're focused on keeping the people you have, stop the bleeding. So, one of the things ATS did was, we have, culture is really big with ATS, and we had a large scale effort over the last 2 years to make sure that our culture is aligned with what we want to do long term. And, we did a lot of things to focus on our people. And I think, spending time looking at, your leaders and how they're impacting the workforce, looking at putting development programs in place to help people progress in their careers, and really putting that focus on the people is really going to help reduce that amount of turnover that you have in the space. So I think if you're looking at the attraction standpoint, when I talked about our ATS's technical development program, not only do we focus in on the high schools and colleges, we also look at military transitions. Over 20% of our workforce has been previous military veterans, and they fit. They represent our culture well, and certainly getting people in that are coming out of the military. We put them into our program, and this could be, like I said, anybody. Doesn't have to be military now. It could be somebody that's wants a career change. We have the tools and the processes in place to get people to be really successful in the skilled trades.
That makes perfect sense. So there's some great insights, great suggestions, Chris. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, thanks, Gary, for having me on today. I appreciate it.
Terrific. For more information on advanced technology services, you can check them out at advancedtech.com or call 855-834-7604. Thanks so much.